Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. Yes, I am your host, Edgar De Jesus, and I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo. This week, we have a special episode, the best of myself. Zach and John were out the last 2 weeks. We were out at the Western Pool and Spa Show, literally flew home on Sunday, and on Monday, we were on the road, driving 5 hours out to San Antonio to the Southwest Pool and Spa Show. And we are excited to be able to talk about that on the next podcast. As a matter of fact, myself and John this Wednesday will be talking about it on our Instagram Live. So if you want to jump ahead, join us there on Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We'll be able to talk about that. Next week, we have Pool Brain in town. We have Adam coming in. We're going to be talking a little bit about scaling and a little bit about, taking your business to that next level. So tune in. I hope that you guys enjoy this podcast and catch us live next Wednesday. And then next Friday on the podcast, we will talk a little bit about the shows. We will talk about the amazing people that we met out there at both of those shows. In the meantime, enjoy this special podcast, the best of. The pool boy, Nicholas, he's out
missing.
Tried to man it out by going hunting into the woods, doing the man thing.
We hope,
Mr. Zach Nicholas. Mr. John, let's give an update on Zach, because we're just a little bit worried about it.
I don't know. I'm starting to second guess our friendship, because usually Zach is very dependable. And when we set something up, he's there. He does it. He's very thorough. He's very analytical. We've talked about this a million times. But today we got on to do our prep for the podcast, get on, do our thing. And then we nonchalant went like, where's Zach at? And then we vaguely remembered that he's going hunting, but we're not sure if he's going hunting today in the morning or at night. We sent him a couple messages. He's not responding. Instead of getting concerned, we're just rolling with it and doing the podcast. So we hope you're hunting, brother, and we don't have to send out an alert or what is it called? APB or whatever.
Right, to put him as a missing person.
Yeah, missing person out there. But we're hoping Zach is in the woods, in his comfort zone, shirtless, hunting for whatever he hunts for.
We should have him do a wellness thing. Maybe his wife took him out because he's spending so much time with us. Poor Zach. So anyways, how you doing, John?
I think I'm doing okay.
You think?
Today's day 31. So I'm officially over a month quitting smoking. It is getting easier, but I'm not getting the urges quite as often. But when I do get them, they like overcome me with, oh my God. But they're much more fewer and far between than they were before. A little more intense, but I'm getting through it. My newest issue now is because I stopped smoking, and we had a little family meeting, and I have our big, huge whiteboard. It's like a 4 foot by 3 foot, 5 foot by 3 foot whiteboard. And we write down goals and for the business and all the stuff we talk about, things that we want to accomplish and do. And first thing anybody always tells me is, hey, look, why do you put it on a board? Just put it on your phone or put it here or put it on the calendar. And I go, maybe I'm just old school or the way it is. But if I have it on my phone, I forget about it. It's not visible. I don't just sit and stare at it. So if I have it right there in my face every time I'm walking in the house and you can see it, it's literally on a big, huge rolling whiteboard. And on one side is all family goals, right? With every child on there. And then saying, hey guys, some of you are 21, my boy's 18, my other son's 16, and my youngest is 14. I go, you guys are way too comfortable in life right now. I know it's pretty chill living here at the Flawless
Castle.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's chill, but it ain't gonna be like this. I go, I made you guys, and the reason why I had 4 is because I need one of you to be able to at least take care of us when we get older. And living with mommy and daddy until you're 50 years old or 35 years old isn't gonna fly with me. I appreciate, and my son, it's his first year out of high school, so he's going through the whole so-called adulthood, freedom, not having to go to school for the first time. But I'm like, he has a job and he's worked at Ralph's for over a year now. or it's going to be a year in a month. But I'm like, dude, where do you see yourself? What are you doing? What's the plan? Short term, long term? So we sat there and we came up with goals with every child. And we talked about it. What do you want to do? Learning a new language, getting a new job, whatever it may be. You're going to sit there and we're going to write those down. And that's what we did on one side. And on the other side is obviously it's our business goals and our short term and our long term. We did a little bit of shifting, and I'll probably get into that a little bit later. But one of our goals was, hey, since I stopped smoking, one thing I'm doing a lot more of, which is hard to imagine, is snacking, right? Because I want to imagine me eating more than I already eat, right?
No.
So I'm like, you know what? I need to start working out again. And I'm not new to working out. I used to do it a lot when I was younger. And I'm like, let's get back into it and whatever. And Janie and I, we made a goal and we said, we're going to start doing it. And this was, I think on Monday, we start, and I did upper body and I did my arms specifically, and I did them to failure, right? To absolute failure, like shaking where.
First time after.
First time went straight hard into it, right? And went to failure where I just couldn't even lift my arms anymore when I was done, because that's how you grow muscle and get in shape. And first day I was fine. And then I was a little exhausted. And then obviously the second day, I swear to God, I'm like dying. And for the last 4 days now, since Monday, I can't even move my arms. And I feel like a T-Rex.
You got T-Rex arms.
I'm like, oh, so I'm in a lot of pain right now. I am in a lot of pain right now.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now on my journey. But
that's awesome.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah. When we started working out with this whole thing with Zach a couple months ago, I went to the gym, and I'm sure the people that saw me was like, what is this dude doing? I was doing chest with 30 pounders,
right.
And they're probably looking at me like, what's wrong with this guy? But it was like literally like a week and a half, 2 weeks before I started, because you know how it is.
Yeah,
and
you got to ease into it.
And you get that pump. Like when you haven't worked out in a long time and you go work out, you get that pump, and then you go even harder. But then, man, a couple of days later, you're like, oh my God.
And Mama can't walk right now. Dude, we're like, sucks to try to help. I can't help her out of bed. I can't help her off the couch because my arms are hurting. You know,
she's going to have to put her hands around your neck, right? Because you can walk. You can't pick her up. And then you'll have to walk, and she'll just have to hang on for dear life.
Dude, the amount of grunting and yelling and screaming and moaning that's going on in our house right now, it's comical.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I definitely feel much older than age is like slapped me in the face because.
Wow, the recoup time is what it is. When you get older, you don't recoup in 2 days anymore.
Yeah, no, dude.
So yeah.
We'll see what happens. So anyways, other than that, I'm on a positive path, and it's painful, and anything worth anything hurts and is tough. So I'm going to stick it through and see how it goes. So,
hey, Jeanette is saying, I know it sounds weird, but chewing on whole cloves will help with cutting back on snacks.
Okay.
Why don't you try that and let us know how that goes by next Wednesday on the Instagram Live?
Okay, I will.
All right, perfect.
Time out. I just got word. Zach is okay. He's in Idaho. He just landed.
Mr. Zacharias.
All right. He's in Idaho.
Okay.
Our boy's good. He's
good. All right. He sent us an SOS. We appreciate that, Zach. Zach is on the chat over here going, you forgot? Zach, we thought you were leaving in the afternoon. We just thought you were leaving later today. So we were throwing the SOS. John had called the local police department because we were going to do a welfare check for you. So we were a little bit worried. So we apologize, brother. Today, we have a special co-host, Megan Kendrick from Pool Pro Magazine, and we are talking to James Broderick, Aiden Dunn, and Nick LaPointe, and they are the Pool Nation Awards nominees for the 30 Under 40 Male of the Year. Want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk, and we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros, and yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our visionary partners for this podcast, the Ultimate Pool Tools, the SPPA, Blu-ray Excel, Aquastar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypack, Heritage Pool Supply, and Hayward Pool Products. Megan, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be doing this again.
I'm excited because Megan is really a true pro at this. And I've seen her live in action, and I'm like, man, I have to sharpen my skills because she's so good at like interviewing people and asking, and she keeps that conversation going. And I'm like,
I mean, I have been doing it for 15 years. So if I'm not any good at it at this point, then I need to find something else to do.
You're so like freaking smooth at it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when I do it, I could tell, oh man, that was like a shift in the conversation. And you're just like, I'll give you examples. Remember when we were talking to Dave Cook?
Yes.
Oh, I was sitting there going, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that. She just nailed it. So I love having you on, Megan. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That's nice of you.
James, good morning.
Hey, what's happening?
How you doing out there?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. For those that can't watch and going to listen to this later, dude, your background is like amazing. It's like it makes me out there.
I know. Beautiful North Carolina. It's 85 degrees and sunny with a little breeze in the air. Can't beat it for sure.
Yeah. Now, is that what it's like all the time?
No, not even close. Nah, these summer days, the humidity here gets absolutely crazy. And then you got the fall time with the foliage and falling. We get it all. We get all the seasons for sure. When it comes to the winter time, it's a little bit more rain and maybe some ice than it is snow. So, you know, that's a plus.
Aiden and Nick are probably looking at your background going, oh, hell no, that is not going to happen.
Nope.
So, Aiden, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing out in beautiful San Diego?
I'm doing well. It's not quite as sunny. I'd say it's about 72, maybe. A little chillier actually today, but
There's a little mist in the air.
a little foggy towards the beach, but
72, is that what you said?
what I always go with. It's usually right around there.
Yeah. Megan, should we have
Ours
a
doesn't change
conversation with them?
much.
About how it was so hot this last week that like they canceled things that were outside in September. Yeah.
Yes.
Like they keep asking me, is it fall yet? Is it fall? And I'm like, next week it's technically fall, but it's not going to get cool anytime soon.
Yeah.
So don't hold your breath, children. I'm sorry.
It's that whole fake fall thing that we have going on out here.
Yeah, not great.
Not great. So, Nick, good morning. How are you?
Morning, doing great.
I was bummed because I'm going to share the story. So I was talking to Ray, which is Nick's partner, and I was trying to get a little bit of dirt to throw a curveball at Nick. And so I'm on Instagram sending a message to Ray, and Ray's all, yeah, Nick is the one that kind of checks this social media thing. So you're not going to be, and all of a sudden Nick's like, what are you guys talking about? What is it that you're trying to find out? I'm like, crap, we were caught. So,
Got caught.
so James and Aiden, I have no dirt on Nick whatsoever, unless
He does have some dirt. Yeah. He's got some funny, embarrassing stories for sure.
That's what we were trying to get. Of course, you had to be checking Instagram. Thanks.
Yep.
We appreciate that. Anyways, so good morning, everybody. Hey, big shout out to Jeanette, which is online out here. Michael Kraus, good morning to all you guys out there. Thanks for joining and listening in. So today we're talking about the 30 under 40. Let's do what we do. Let's get through some housekeeping notes because a couple of different things, right? We need to get kind of James through this. We know that he's got a crazy busy day out there. It was raining for 4 days, so he's a little bit behind. And so we were talking about it, and James all, oh, do you think people will mind? I'm like, are you kidding me? That's our crowd. Our crowd is like, let's get done. Let's get out. We got polls to do. We got work. So
money to make. Let's go.
That's right. Let's go.
Edgar, just to jump in real quick, if I may, on that.
Absolutely.
With IPSA, so I'm a region director out here in San Diego, Region 7 IPSA director. Just to remind anyone that doesn't know about it or tell anybody that hasn't heard about it, the education fund is a big thing that we're trying to push this year. Up to $500 per member per year can go to any sort of educational trainings, classes, basically all of what you just explained right there. It's a great fund. We've got a lot of money in the bank set aside just for that, for members and non-members to utilize and take advantage of educating themselves and furthering their business and the industry as a whole.
What was amazing of that to me is that education fund is not just IPSA members. And I think that's probably one of the things that people think the most, that you have to be an IPSA member. And I think this is a phenomenal thing that IPSA does because it's about bettering the industry, right? And it doesn't matter if you're an IPSA member or not. Really, their true passion is to be able to educate and better the industry. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great program. I think we need to share more about it, talk more about it. So Aiden, let's get together and we'll do a couple things to promote that a little bit better.
Definitely. I was recently appointed the marketing and outreach chair as well. So I'm happy to meet up and
Wait, what are your
the marketing and outreach committee chair. So that all kind of ties in as well.
What I'm going to ask you shortly here in a little bit is how do you find time to do all this stuff that you do, my friend? Because you're involved in so many freaking things.
Question I am searching for the answer for as well. I'm not sure.
All right, we'll talk about that. Hey, I want to give a couple shout outs here really quick before we get started. We're going to start here with James, but Abby Michelle, shout out to JB Pools Care. Go James.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're starting right off the bat. Boom.
Hey, got a big fan base. What can I say?
Okay, there you go. Love it.
I have to say, though, I have never had so many customers write in as they did for James and say, hey, you really have to consider this dude because he's amazing. Like, I will say, we did change up the way we did things a little bit this year. So once you were nominated, you couldn't be nominated twice. But we put an email up there. Hey, if you want to weigh in on someone who's already been nominated, just shoot us an email. And we had a ton of his customers reach out and say what a great job he does and how much they love him. And I've never seen anything like it. For a couple of days there, it was like a deluge of all of his customers. It was amazing.
Yeah, my people, they're phenomenal. A lot of them are very much like family. When I found out, I was so overwhelmed with love and appreciation and gratitude. These people, when I first started this whole journey, it was very much just on a limb. And here I am 5-6 years later now, and got people. I've watched little kids now grow up and babies, and life actually move on with some of these people. So it's been definitely a blessing for sure.
Here's the other thing that we were talking about. This is very impressive. So obviously James jumped on and I'm like, bro, like that's a nice background you got going on. It's all green and stuff like that. So share that part.
Yeah, right now I'm working. So we've had some pretty bad rain. We've had a little bit of a tail end of a tropical cyclone come through to us. It's dumped probably like about 5-6 inches of rain over the last 4 days. And it's just been pouring the rain. So it's been putting me on the shelf. I'm a little bit in that time where it's closing time for what I do. Got to get out here and get it done because they rely on me. I'm a one-man show, so I don't really work with a team. The team that I have, when we call it JBs, it's James Broderick and Jennifer Broderick, who's my wife. She does a lot of the billing, and I tell everybody she's the brain, I'm the brawn. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds, and I just go out there and work like a horse. So
that's so funny. We see the same thing at our house, except it's like he's the power team and I'm the finesse team.
Oh, there you go. That's a nice way to say it. Sometimes I feel like the brain part is like, I'm not capable. I'm very capable. It's just,
all right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You need the finesse.
Yeah, fact. Being as big as I am, finesse comes a little more difficult than my wife. So
same in our house for sure. Yeah.
So James, let's do a little bit of a deep dive. Tell us a little bit about how you got into the industry, how many pools you do, where you're located.
Yeah. So location wise, I'm located in, I tell everybody, Wake Forest, North Carolina. Most people know Raleigh, North Carolina at this point, but I'm right outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been doing this for, like I said, roughly, this is year 5 going on year 6. I originally started this off during the pandemic. I used to be a general manager at a swim school called Goldfish Swim School. We taught kids from 4 months old all the way to 14 years old how to swim. So that's where I fell in love with learning about pools and automatronics and salt cells and all the chemistry and all the things that kind of came with it. So that's where I first started off, like learning all the basics of everything. Unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, our business was not considered an essential business at that time. So I didn't really have much to do for quite some time. We were on the later cycle of people to open. And at that point, I had a couple of local friends that were like, hey, man, you take care of a pool, right? And I'm like, yeah, an indoor pool. And they're like, can you help me with my pool? Like, my pool's turning green. I don't know what to do. I was like, I can't get service people to come out here. And I was like, yeah, I'll come out there. Like, you just keep your distance. We do all the things we need to do to make sure everything stays safe. Let me come out, do my work. And then once my work's done, I'll leave and everyone's gone. And that's just how it started. From that, it's just been a lot of word of mouth. I'm proud to say I've never spent that $1 on any marketing for my business. Everything's just come through referrals and holding myself with integrity and having compassion for the people that I'm working for and building trust with people. That's my motto within the business. Now here I am. I do roughly about 7 pools a day when it comes to this time of year. I could be running 6 days a week, depending if I got random clients with pump issues, salt cell issues, filters needing to be changed. I do liners. I installed above ground pools. I've done a little bit. I'm a jack of many trades, but a master of none, if you want to say the most. I stay within my lane and stay in my space, especially when it comes to a lot of the more powerful electricity and things like that. I know that kind of maybe sounds silly that I'm a pool guy that doesn't mess with the electricity, but until I can feel comfortable within that side, I stay away. But for the most part, services is what I do. And coming out here, turning green to clean is a lot of what I do. And like I said, building relationships with a lot of these people. A lot of the people that I work for, they need my help more than want my help. I have some sweet little old ladies that unfortunately husbands have passed and other scenarios like that just lead me to doing what I do. So it's pretty much that simple.
James won one of our green to cleans of the month, by the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which was really cool. And if you guys don't know that we do that, like we have this social media contest every month where if you tag us on your green to cleans, you could be our green to clean of the month. And this year we're going to do a green to clean of the year. We're getting up there. It's turning into a real competition.
That's one of my big things, is really helping a lot of the people with pool chemistry and turning those pools from green to clean. Because most people, unfortunately, when a lot of guys get these pools, they just drop the pools in. And this is some companies that I deal with, at least, don't really tell people what it means to shock your pool or how to shock your pool or the other chemicals that need to go in just to balance out that shock to make sure it's the most active it can be. I like to do what I like to call pool school. And so I educate a lot of my customers on top of just doing services. Like I'll come and it's actually a service. I'll come for 2 hours and I'll sit with you and I'll tell you how everything works, all the way from how you vacuum your pool, what the maintenance routine wants to look like. This is for a lot of people that don't want an everyday bi-weekly service or weekly service. You just have that ability to go out there and talk to them. Most of my weekly and bi-weeklies, I talk to them every week or bi-weekly. So we exchange information back and forth. But especially for my realm, that's the pool education to a lot of these people that get these fancy, some of the areas I'm talking $1 million pools in some of these areas. Like they get left with all this and never told what to do with it afterwards. I like to think I'm like a knight in shining armor that comes in and saves the day some days. So
that sounds surprising, but it's also wild that like you have a luxury pool built in your backyard and then they're just like, peace. Good luck.
Pretty much. And around here, especially where we are, it's, do you want a sand filter? Do you want a cartridge filter? Do you want a DE filter? Is salt the best? Is chlorine the best? And those words and most of that stuff is so foreign to people especially first-time pool owners. There's a gap from that pool building to where I'm at and what I do for the customers. And to what you were saying before with all my customers, I think that's one of the reasons why I have the rapport and the outpour have come from my people, at least. Might not get a lot of votes outside, maybe not in San Diego. Power to you guys. Out here in North Carolina, over in the Triangle area, I got a good plethora of people that I help, and they help me, I guess. They appreciate what I do.
I mean, you think about just in our industry, I've been doing this for 15 years, and obviously I'm not working on pools every day, but I learned something new all the time that I didn't know. I can't imagine what it would be like for a homeowner who's not talking to people about pools every single day, to have any idea what to do, especially when something goes wrong. It's crazy, like walking into the backyard of friends' pools or acquaintances and looking at stuff and being like, oh boy, like you do not know what you're doing. This is a mess. It's crazy.
One of the customers I went to this morning, he somehow, I don't know, it's the first time I ever met the guy and first time I ever went, it was a newer pool and I'm looking at it and a lot of the valves aren't turning off and shutting off where it should. And then he's got a salt cell connected to a chlorinator. I don't know. There's just so many questions on why certain things get done a certain way. And he doesn't know, Education of a homeowner is just as important as educating the people and the pool professionals. I think there's a little niche inside of there where that education is not being something that's utilized in many spaces.
For sure. Yeah, and it's cool that you do the pool school. A lot of like pool retailers will do that for their customers and they have everybody.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation podcast. I'm fired up, John. We weren't live yet. The lights came on and it was like Spider said, I'm fired up and ready to go.
It's like you flip a switch.
Yep. Yeah, Spider, you got my back?
It changes people, I'm telling you.
It does, right? You got my back, Spider?
I don't know.
Some
of the comments before we went on air, I don't know that I fully support you right now.
Come on, Spider. You got to get one back, bro.
I'm half there.
You're half there?
Yeah.
Listen, half there is good. So anyways, everybody, I am Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion Marco Polo, along with John, JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach, the pool boy Nicholas. And today, yes, we are in studio with the Cannonball King himself.
That's right.
Mr. Spider. Today we're talking to Brian Crisson, Johnny Davis, Andrew Ragland, and Daniel Nicholas. And they are some of the nominees for the Pool Sales Rep of the Year for the 2024 Pool Nation Awards. And we're excited about that. I just want to tell everybody that I'm off my game a little bit this morning.
You're off, but you're on.
But here's what happened. Can I confess? And Spider saw this because I reached out to everybody to send me a picture so that we could do the post, right? Andrew, take a look. Does it look legit or what?
It does.
So I got a professional picture from you right away, and so did Daniel. Brian never sent me a picture for him to be up there. And look at them, John. They're like got their suits and they got their ties.
Looking good, yeah.
Brian never sent one. But
he was dressed differently.
But let me tell you what happened with Johnny, and this is where Spider and we just lost it all right off the bat. So I didn't reach out to Johnny. I reached out to Lacey, right? Because she's my go-to. I know if I talk to her, can you get it done? So I'm like, hey, we're going to have Johnny on the podcast. I need a picture. She sent me a picture of him in a Speedo working out.
No, you wait. Flamingo?
Hey, flamingo. The flamingo says, yeah. And Spider and I like, we can't use that for the thumbnail.
Well, I don't even know where to go right now. I don't even know what to say right now.
Johnny's quiet. We lost Johnny. Yeah. Johnny, you there?
Something's up. You obviously are off. Not off, you're on, but you have me speechless.
Look, Johnny, you there?
Yes.
Oh, there he is.
So what's
Oh, he was laughing.
He's a little red, right?
A little red.
A little red? Did Lacey tell you she was going to send that picture?
No.
Of course not. But are you surprised?
Absolutely not.
There you go. That's how this whole thing started and why I was off on the intro and stuff like that. So
I think you nailed it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think you nailed it. I'm just sitting here in awe trying to figure out how you flipped the switch so quickly. Today was action-packed.
Yeah.
We were in the studio making videos, doing some of our content that we were working on, getting ready for the pool conference. And then I go, of course, me is like, I'm hungry, I need to eat. And then we go out and we go have some food to eat. We have our wonderful pizza over at Pie Tap out in Frisco. Hats off to you guys over there. You make an amazing pizza and a badass spicy rigatoni pasta. It was delicious. But when we eat, we shut down completely, right? We go from being on a high, talking, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and all of a sudden
we're talking all crap.
It's like getting up from the table and then walking to the truck. It was just like complete shutdown mode, right? And then we get in the truck and we start driving over to the podcast. And of course, I'm sitting there and I recline back the chair and I'm relaxing and zoning out and thinking about the podcast and doing what we have to do today. And then our podcast tomorrow. And Edgar is like slowing down as well. And then here we are here. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have to step it up a little bit because Edgar's a little tired, right? And he's doing his thing. And then all of a sudden now you just flip the switch and you're all maniac mode on me. And you got me a little intimidated right now.
It's all thanks to Spider because he was hyping me up. He was my hype man back there.
It's the exact opposite. I am the opposite of a hype man today, whatever that is.
You're right.
Do y'all have kids?
But as soon as the show comes on.
So I don't know what age it is, but you may notice when they're small and they eat, they go wild.
Yeah.
But there's somewhere at some age when
there's a transition,
you want to take
right?
a nap.
Yeah, there's a transition.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's how I am. And it's the worst thing ever for me. But I love eating, so I have to deal with it. And here I am.
Anyways,
That's my good morning.
good evening.
Oh, my good evening. But I'm not done. I want to talk a little bit more.
You want to talk a
A
little
little bit more. I'm going to
Okay.
still the stage, and I'm sorry,
Okay,
guys.
go for it.
But today marks day, what, Mom?
46.
46 of no smoking. I think I'm over the hill on this one.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So day 46. I thought coming to Texas and being with Edgar would be my breaking point.
But I've
No.
been an inspiration,
You
bro.
have been. You have been an inspiration. So I think I'm ready to go for another 46 more.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
So,
Congrats, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much. But other than that, no, look, I'm excited to do this podcast. When Edgar talked about it and we brought it up, we said, hey, here we have an opportunity to do this one. And we're going to do this on Friday. Can you come in studio? I'm like, absolutely. I want to be here. I think this category is one of my personal favorite categories because I believe that pool reps in our industry play a very vital role. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it later on, but it's nice to have some of the best in the room. We have a ton of nominees. Each and every one of you have been nominated by one of your peers or somebody out there that you've personally touched. Well, that came off wrong. Maybe Brian.
Going to those parties that Edgar was talking about earlier.
Exactly. I'm lost in the conversation of what Edgar was talking about. But
I'll plug back to when we go about somebody touching us. That's my question.
But that
We've reached it.
that you guys have inspired somehow, some way in the industry. So I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' story. I know we spoke a little bit before we started, but without further ado, let's get going.
Absolutely. Andrew, good evening. It's great to have you.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming down. And I know it was last minute, kind of little curveball there. And
Yeah, it's all good.
But I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And you're out here in Texas, so it was awesome to have you in studio.
Yes, sir. Yep. Right here. Not far.
I tried to get Brian in studio, but he wouldn't come.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You can't put us in the room together anyways. It'd have been chaos.
Yeah. So, Mr. Brian, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I am really in North Carolina. I would be there if I could, but I am tickled, literally, to have these guys on because I know each one of them personally and they're great guys. So I've got some competition along with some other people on that list. So I'm just glad to be in the room virtually.
Absolutely. Well, congrats. Johnny, good evening. How are you?
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I just want you to know that Lacey jumped on here and she was saying, he looked good though, huh, on the Speedo. That's what Lacey is saying. So anyways, Teresa is on here. Big shout out to you. Jeanette says, woohoo, congratulations, John, on the
46.
46.
Yes.
So big shout out to Teresa out there. And Daniel, how are you?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you guys having me on here and glad to be here as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, where are you out of, Daniel? Are you in California?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego.
In San Diego. Okay. Man, that San Diego market gets a lot of nominees and support. Have you noticed that? The last 2 years.
For sure.
There's been a
Well,
lot.
there's a lot going on in San Diego. There's a lot of nice pools and a lot of pool companies out there.
But a lot of people nominated from down there.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So
I made good company down here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great crew down there.
I'm very impressed. And, we go through this every single time. But
Did you see that, Andrew? He was giving me the goo-goo eyes. Wasn't he?
I was
He
like,
was,
wow,
right?
I'm just so glad that I didn't have to jump in and say any of that stuff because you do it so well, right? And there's so many different details. And guys, think about this is only 3 days, right? That we're talking about and all the stuff that's going on and that we're putting on for everybody at the international show. It's absolutely amazing to watch you walk through and go through all those details. So yes, I was either falling asleep with my eyes open or I was so impressed with how you delivered it. I'll let you be the judge.
You let me. Yeah. But Spider, 1 to 10, how did I do?
That was a solid 9.5.
Nice.
I can't give a 10 because we got to leave something for you to
for
something, right, Spider?
That was pretty good.
I appreciate that because Spider's going to give it to me. I like it. When it's terrible, he pulls me inside.
He does.
Like, bro, you sucked today, bro, man. But I appreciate that.
I'm in here all the time. I don't want to listen to bad shows. We got to step it up,
Anyways, I think it's time to get started, guys. And Andrew, I'm actually going to start with you because you are in studio. And
Okay.
I'm excited to have you here in studio and that you got to come out and play with us tonight. So tell us a little bit about yourself and go back deep into your journey, how you got started in the pool industry, what you've done in the past, and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, I can do that. So I started in the industry in 2005, graduated from A&M with industrial distribution degree and didn't know what I wanted to do. And Pool Corp, I went into their manager in training and was there for 10 years, learned a lot, worked my way up, operations manager, opening a facility. That's kind of what got me out to East Texas in the Piney Woods. I opened a new facility and that was a lot of fun. Opened it from scratch, empty building, put the racks up, buying trucks, all that good stuff. So that was a good time. And then I decided to make a change and we talk about the pool industry keeping you in. I tried to get out for about 3 months. That's all it was, 3 months. And I was back in. I got the opportunity to work for a manufacturer. That was great. So I've been with Hayward for 8.5 years. I'm coming up on 20 years in the industry, and it's been great. Met a lot of good friends, and I've been in Texas the whole time, but I also cover a little bit of Arkansas and a little bit of North Louisiana in my position. So, yeah, that's been my journey through the industry, and it's been great. I got a lot of customers now, and it's very busy every day, so I can't complain.
So, Andrew, I want to step back a little bit. You said that you got out of the industry for about 3 months. Did somebody come looking for you or offered you a job and then you went to a different industry, or did you just get sick and tired of the pool industry and say, hey, I want to try something different?
I guess a little bit of all that. It was a situation where if you want to move to another position, you can't be where you're at. I want to say it the easiest way.
Yeah.
So I had to make some changes, and so that's what happened. And
okay. And then it worked out.
It did, yeah.
But you went straight to work for Hayward from there.
Correct.
You left Pool Corp.
For the other opportunity, and from that opportunity, you came back to
Hayward, yeah.
Hayward.
Yeah, I went and managed MSC. It's a large parts distributor. Mm-hmm. I was a manager there for a short while, and it was extremely boring. Working in distribution, it is nonstop. And I went to a facility where they told me not even to answer my phone. It was wild. It's just very boring. I had to get back into the pool industry.
That is awesome. How do you like working for Hayward?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
I was waiting to see what he would say. And I know where he's going to go with this. You'll see why.
Pool Corp had its good time, and then Hayward's been great. I've watched it change. It was family owned for a very long time. It's about to come up on 100 years of being around. Now it's more corporate. We're on the stock exchange and everything. So I've had some great bosses. I really think it's who your leader is. The leaders I've had have let me grow and do what I do. It's been great. There's a lot of freedom, but I'm tied to the phone. I answer people's calls all the time. I love getting in the backyards. When I was in distribution, it was moving boxes. As soon as I got into this position, I was in the backyards as much as possible to learn, to install, uninstall, fix stuff so that when someone calls me, I can answer the question.
And then what about your crew out here in Texas? Because you guys have a good group of guys out here.
We do, yeah. It's been good. Like I said, it's all about who you work with. And I've had some come and go. I mean, we know one's on the...
Well, you're lucky that Brian's gone. I was going to get to that next, but...
That's what's cool about the industry. It's anyone that's left my Hayward team, I'm still in good communication with them. Some have gone to customers and some have gone to other manufacturers. That's great.
The reason I was going there, John, is because he worked with Brian. This just tells you how much of a unit you have. So they did postcards one year for Christmas.
We did.
And so tell us a little bit about that and those, because they were awesome.
Like together, both of them on the postcard?
So all four of them. There was four of them on the postcard, but tell them what the postcard was.
I don't know which one you're talking. There's been two.
Okay.
So the first one, we put some cowboy hats on and we went down, and there's a spot in the Metroplex that has this big billboard, Texas flag and everything. So we took pictures and we roped Brian with some rope.
Don't we have to cut the commercial or something? We have to cut the commercial.
It was great.
You don't need to do that.
It was great. And then so we stepped it up the following Christmas, and we went to Buc-ee's. Were we in pajamas?
Pajamas, shorts, all of it.
Pajamas with, pajamas
with cowboy boots.
Yeah. It was funny to go in Buc-ee's. We were walking around, and you could tell and we were in their pajamas, I believe, weren't we? Or no, we got them from Academy.
But they were all matching pajamas.
We were all matching.
All Christmas.
So we had a lot of people wanted to take pictures with us as we're walking through Buc-ee's. And then, of course, they were nice enough to take pictures of us, the workers. So
you don't happen to have a copy of it?
Not with me, but
you do.
I do.
By the way, I still have mine at home. Brian sent me one.
Yeah, we have a good time. That's a big part of it.
And that's where I was getting at with working for Hayward, because I know that these guys have a really close, tight unit. And I came out to Texas and met you guys out at the SCP out here, and you could tell just right off the bat the chemistry that they had together.
Yeah, I remember you came and did videos in the van.
Yeah.
Was that like 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
It was in your beginning of this whole journey, right?
It was about a year into it. So it's been about 4. We just started year 5. It was September 5th. Yeah, 4 years. So now we're on year 5. But yeah, we came out and we did some videos. Brian has some videos that he posted online, and
they're still online.
And they're crazy. They've got like thousands of views. It's got like 30,000 views on that OmniLogic. Yeah. You got to go check it out on YouTube. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't like to look my name up. Other stuff comes up when I Google it, so I stay off the internet.
Listen, let's keep this clean here, buddy.
I want to go back to what you're saying. You said it a couple times, and obviously it means a lot to you. And I agree wholeheartedly when you said it's all about who you work for, right? And the people that you work with or the people that you work for. And we're firm believers, and I've always preached and said that a company like Hayward or like Aquastar or Pentair or Jandy or whatever it may be is a company. But as pool professionals and the people that you serve, people work for people. They don't work for corporations. Corporation isn't necessarily who you report to every single day, right? You report to your boss or the people that's directly above you. They're the ones that influence you. So when it comes down to as a pool professional or as a service provider and you're out and about, for me, it's funny. And we talk to people all across the country. You can go from one different area or a different market, and you can be a completely Hayward place, or you can be completely Jandy, or it can be all Pentair here, and they can't say enough great things about Hayward over here, and then you come over here and they don't really say much about Hayward there, or vice versa with different manufacturers. And the reality is it's all about the people that are representing you. And whoever's running that market, right? Hayward's the same in Texas than it is in California, than it is in New York, in Puerto Rico, wherever. The company, the corporation, the mission statement, their SOP, how they run their business and what they want done is all completely the same. The difference is the people that are delivering and executing below them. And so when it comes down to a sales rep, how important your job is in the industry, because you represent these manufacturers. You're there with your boots on the ground supporting the guys and gals that are out there installing your equipment and working on it. And one of the reasons why I believe this is a pretty badass category, and I put it up there with Pool Guy of the Year, Pool Girl of the Year, because you guys are part of the heartbeat of the industry as well, because you represent these people that are out there grinding every single day, making it happen. And if it wasn't for that liaison between the big corporate world and the little guy, it would be hard for us to be able to do our job. So I just thought that was pretty interesting how you said that.
Absolutely. Hey, let's see here. I got a couple people on here before we keep going. Deb Martin is saying, hi, Daniel. Lynn Sharp, big shout out to you. Teresa, big shout out. Mr. Todd Pierre saying that it's too early. And I said, too early for what? Too early for giving stuff away.
But that's tomorrow morning.
It's never too early to give stuff away, Todd. And let's see here. David Jones is saying, Hayward, Texas teams are all rock stars. Jeanette is saying pajamas and boots. That was the best card. I did send her a message that if she has it to send it, and I'll
she
share
has
it on
it.
the, on
We
the
sent it to
screen.
her.
So
Yeah.
let's see here. Our boy Russell Ware is going, my dudes. Big shout out. Jeanette saying it's in with the Christmas stuff. I haven't unpacked it yet, so we're probably not going to get to see
So that's
it.
great. She brings it out every year and puts it
Yeah,
back
puts
on
it back out, yeah.
Nice. Nice, that's great.
Daniel, you're a little bit quiet out there, so let's jump in. Let's talk about you a little bit.
All right. How are you guys?
We're ready to rock and roll and listen to your story.
All right. It's a long journey, so buckle up. This is my 30th year going on the industry. I started my journey as a young man in high school, and part of it was looking for a summer job. So I had a friend of family that was doing pool cleaning at the time, and he was working with a pool store in the town I lived in, and he said, hey, do you want a job to go work at a pool store? So as a young kid, didn't really have any direction, know what I was going to do. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go work at a pool store. So worked at a local pool store, and that was kind of how my journey began. I didn't think I was going to be in the pool industry for another 30 years of my life, but here I am. That was where it all began. Got good experience with just the day-to-day of customers coming in, buying their chlorine, bringing their cleaners in. So I was wrenching on cleaners at the time. The pool store I worked for also had service and repair. So a lot of the guys would bring in their old used heaters. So I would sit there and break down heaters, and got my hands on just learning the ins and outs of what the pool life is. I was about 15 years old, and I seen all these guys come in and out, and I'm like, I really want to get out in the field. So as soon as I was 16, I got my truck, got out in the field, and I started cleaning pools. And I did that for, I would say, about 2 or 3 years. And that really got my experience in the pool industry. At the same time, as I was working after school, summer, on the weekends, I was also doing a lot of snowboarding because the kids were reckless and who knows, just out there. That was my hobby. The unfortunate thing was I was so reckless, I got in a pretty bad accident on a snowboarding trip. As a young adult now, I quickly learned that you have to have insurance when you get hurt. And I'm like, oh no, this is not good. Now I'm laid up and I'm not able to do my job. While I was doing that, I was going in and out of distribution. And one of the guys at distribution at the time, it was Orcal. If anyone knows Orcal, just switched over to SCP, said, hey, do you want to come work at distribution? And guess what? We have insurance. So I'm like, okay, this is great transition. So I went over, started working at distribution, worked there for about 3 or 4 years. I got to learn a lot of hands-on of learning the ins and outs of distribution, product management. I did route management at the time for the branch down here in San Diego. This is all in San Diego. So I got my hands on there, but at the time I'm dealing with customers in and out and learning new things with customers and what they're doing in the field. And one of my customers came up to me and said, hey, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't really know. I'm here at distribution. I'm in my early 20s now. And he's like, you want to learn how to build pools? And I said, sure, let's do it. So he pulled me out of distribution. The cool thing for the company I worked for was it was a small pool builder. So with that pool building, they taught me how to design pools, sell pools, project manage pools. So the company was, hey, you sell it, you're going to take that job from start to finish. So I really got immersed in the pool building world. And that happened for about 7 years. It was in the early 2000s. So the good thing, if you guys were around in the industry in the early 2000s, it was really good. and then it got really bad. Once it got really bad, once again, I'm like, oh no, I'm not sure what's going to happen here, because we're building tons of pools. We're hiring a bunch of employees. We're growing. And then that late 2000 came and it just came to a complete halt. Then I'm like, that was what probably, I think, almost pulled me out of the pool industry, because I wasn't quite sure. I was still pretty young, still trying to figure out, like, is this the life for me? I wasn't quite sure yet. And then one of the reps I worked with in the field came to me and he said, hey, I know you don't know what you're going to do, but there's a position opening as a manufacturer rep for a company down here in San Diego. He's like, would you be interested? I said, sure, I'll give it a shot. So I interviewed with a company. You all know Raypack. It took a little bit of time to get hired on, but finally got hired on because I really wasn't coming from any repping experience at the time. But they took a chance on me at the time, and still good friends and mentors. Tom Grucky, if you know him, brought me on board and taught me a lot when it came to manufacturer repping. That's really what got me onto the repping side. So I was at Rape for about 9-10 years. That's where I met Brian. Brian was a customer of mine out in the Temecula market. And it was also really cool because when I was at distribution, I made a network of friends, even just the few years I was there. Then went on the building side. I separated from a lot of those guys, and then jumping back to the manufacturing role, all those guys and girls that I knew from distribution, I'm starting to mix back in with, which was really a neat experience. So fast forward about 10 years with Raypack, there was an opportunity that came up with the company I am with today. It was Zodiac at the time, and they're opening up a new position down here in the SoCal market. So I interviewed for that position. I loved Raypack at the time, but I'm a person that always wants to learn and grow. And at the time, we were doing primarily just heaters. And I felt Zodiac gave me an opportunity to learn a lot more equipment. And that's what I really wanted to do, is expand my knowledge with equipment. The funny thing is, while I was interviewing, I got the job. The gentleman that was helping me come over to Zodiac ended up in the midst of all that, called me up one day and he's like, hey, thanks for coming over. I'm glad you're coming over, but I'm leaving. And I'm like, oh, great. So,
got bamboozled.
Yeah, he was leaving for personal reasons. It wasn't any red flags or anything. So he left. But what that did was it opened his position for the San Diego market. And the company generously said, hey, what do you want to do here? This position opened up. You're based in San Diego. You've been in San Diego your whole career now. I ended up taking that position for the sales manager position for San Diego. So now I've been with Fluidra, Jandy, for 8 years now, and it's been a great ride. I always say I didn't find the pool industry found me. Going back to what John was saying, this is such a person business and a relationship business, and that's what my drive is every day, getting up, working for the company I work with. My customers are my friends, and some of my best friends are from this industry. And that's the greatest part of what I do and working for this company.
That's impressive.
Absolutely.
Not many times do you hear where usually when people get into the pool industry, they're like on one road, right? And they come to a crossroads at some point where they'll move from service to either building, right? Or they'll go from building maybe to opening up a retail store, or they'll go from service or building to becoming a rep. But you've done the quadfecta, whatever you want to call it, but the trifecta, if you really right? But you were distribution, you went out into the field, right? You did retail. And then you also now as a rep, that's pretty impressive. So you've touched literally every portion and part of the industry. And as a representative, one thing that I know has always been frustrating as a pool service provider or people that I've spoken to, sometimes when we talk to reps or they don't necessarily understand what we are going through, right? Or what really the issue is. And it's a lot more than just, here's a product, this is what the specs are, this is what the warranty is, this is what you can do or can't do, you know, being out there like you were talking about, being friends, being there, building relationships, right, being able to help them through their journey, help them grow their company so that you don't view them as oh, your guy only has 5 pools or 10 pools. We're not going to waste your time with you, right? Let's go out there and catch the company that has 1,500 pools, or the builder that's going to spend $10 million this year on equipment. Being able to share and understand what they're going through because you've lived it yourself makes it very valuable in your position and for your company, whoever you're representing, right? Just for you, it's Jandy. For you, it's Hayward. Where it puts you guys in a position to where you get to shine, right? And you get to build those relationships with those people. And to know that, I mean, I'm looking at you and I'm going, dude, I'm old. It looks like I'm older than you. You've already been in the industry for 30 years, right? And you've done all this, right? And look, poor me, what have I done? You know what I mean? I just think that's pretty impressive. I didn't know that about you. And is there anything he hasn't done so far?
He's hit every point.
He has hit every single point.
And I do want to say, I jumped earlier and I talked about the fact that the San Diego market is a tight market. They all kind of support each other. And I'm looking here, and so right off the bat, you had Lisa Ann going, Daniel is the best. Nick LaPointe down there is going, Daniel. Big shout out, hey, let's go. Joey Busick, which is down in your market as well, is giving you a big shout out there. And then we also did, Rich sent us a message, John, going, hey, don't you guys normally do Friday? So big shout out to you, Rich, out there that you are checking out the podcast. I really appreciate that. Dak Casper, which is in San Diego, is saying, I'm trying to do more than just clean pools. I'm in San Diego too. I'm a pool tech, but want to learn more. My sister is up over at Pentair. So big shout out to Dak out there. And Dak, again, the San Diego community is a great community. I suggest that you get and connect with some of these people, connect with Daniel out there. Rich, love your guys' podcast. We appreciate that, Rich, big time. And then our boy Brett is out here and he says he's doing good. Need to find out if he's coming up to the Pool Nation Awards in the conference. Anyway, so big shout out to you out there. And let's see here. Todd Pieri, Daniel is great for our industry. And then Golden State Pool says Daniel is the best. And then Rich is saying, why is my comment grayed out? And that is YouTube, because he was joking around about giving him a discount. So I think YouTube is probably thinking they're asking for monetary stuff. So anyways, Brian always says it's best to get to know your reps. Yes, and we're going to talk about that, because that is a huge key thing. So I do want to do one thing. So we need to take a word from our sponsors, but I want you to see this. Are you seeing that? So I don't know if everybody could see, but we did get the picture. So here's what I'm going to do. I don't know.
Send that to me.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm going to try to get them to Spider while we are on break. And then what Spider will do is he'll share them up on the screen. So let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. And when we come back, guys, we will continue.
Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. U.S. Motors Neptune Variable Speed Motor provides a versatile replacement solution for all your pool pump motor needs. This motor can communicate with pool control systems, provide low voltage options to work with time clocks, and can be installed as a standalone pump motor. The Neptune motor can be easily installed on existing pumps, upgrading them to a variable speed pump without the need for replumbing. Enjoy energy savings and quiet operation by installing a Neptune Variable Speed Motor today. For more information and to find your local distributor, visit usmotors.com/pool. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Meet the Pipeline Pump from Aquastar Pool Products, the next generation of variable speed pumps designed for serious efficiency. At its core is a high-performance permanent magnet motor that's totally enclosed and fan-cooled, delivering consistent energy-saving operation. Paired with Aquastar's patented high-efficiency volute design, the Pipeline Pump maintains optimal flow while cutting down on energy use. And it's not just efficient, it's incredibly quiet. Thanks to a high-tech rubber motor mount that absorbs vibrations and dampens sound, the Pipeline runs smooth and quiet by limiting turbulence. Its 2.5-inch internal frame ensures unrestricted water flow, and it's available in both 1.5 HP and 3.0 HP models, each with 2-inch and 2.5-inch union fittings for flexible and efficient installation. Experience the pipeline difference, incredibly quiet operation, peak efficiency, and proven performance. Ask your supplier for the pipeline pump from Aquastar, available now. Care Solutions, for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Yes, we are back in studio from last night, and guess what? Since we are in studio, we got the Cannonball King himself, Mr. Spider.
If you thought I was low energy last night, I'm slow-mo Spider this morning.
I was just pointing to Janie going, as soon as the audio went on, my energy just went right up through the roof. So anyways, guys, today we are talking to Josh Sandler, CEO of Gold Medal Pools. And trust me, this is going to be a podcast you don't want to miss. A lot of great information. Mr. Zacharias out of the mountains and nice and fresh. How you doing?
I'm actually doing really well. I go through these lulls throughout the year, right, where you're on fire and you're killing it and you're motivated and your brain's firing on all cylinders. And then sometimes it's just not, and you're unmotivated and going through the motions. And it was like yesterday, the switch flipped back into the motivational category and my brain was just going. And I'm thinking about a lot of the things that we might get into on this and processes and how can we improve and where are our inefficiencies and things like that. And it was like so much so when I got home, I was just like brain hurt and I had to turn it off. So I think the timing on this is absolutely perfect. And I'm excited to talk to Josh and hear his story and get some of those insights on business, because this is the stuff that truly gets me going.
Yeah, and trust me, this is going to be a great one for you. I know you're going to have probably about 50 questions. We're going to have to watch them today. So, Mr. Flawless, how you doing?
I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong because I don't know where you guys are getting all this energy from. And I'm starting to get a complex or something, thinking that something's wrong with me, because as your guys' energy starts to skyrocket or these switches are flipped on with me, I'm just like, just seems as I get older and as I keep going, I'm just chilling.
It's like Spider says, when it's lights, camera, action, showtime, the body just goes in and kicks in.
I'm just a slow starter. I'm not fast off the start, but when I get going, I'm going, all right? Like a train, like a locomotive, right? So
you're for the long distance.
I'm not going to be anybody in the sprint, that's for sure.
You got to find your groove.
I get moving and growing, but no, I'm doing great. It's always awesome getting into the studio and doing the podcast, right? Last night was a hoot. It was a great time talking to everybody in the reps and listening to their stories. And this morning, for sure, Josh, really appreciate you coming down. I think you have an amazing story to tell everybody. Just like I'm going to echo what Zach said, these are the things that are very motivational to us guys and gals out in the pool industry that just start out or have maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 pools or however many, even 100 pools, whatever it may be. And then they're right at the brink of expansion and that the fear of the unknown. And it's not always all sunshine and rainbows, but the payoff if you put in the work. And that's the beautiful thing about this industry. You can be and do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You can be successful at 50 pools, 100 pools, live a wonderful life with your family, or if you want to take the next step and grow into a bigger operation, get into the thousands of pools serviced and start building and doing it all, it can happen as well, right? And you don't need to be in college for 8 years. You don't have to have this amazing educational or go to university or anything. Be a blue-collared worker, bust your butt, work really hard, learn from your mistakes, and then you can be anything you want to be. I'm excited to listen to your story because I think, like I say, it's very inspirational to myself, to all of us, and everybody that's listening. So thanks for coming.
Appreciate that. Glad to be here.
So, Josh.
Good morning.
Happy Friday. Thanks for coming out. I know it was a last-minute curveball.
That's where we do our best work, right?
That's right.
We're pool guys.
It just dawned on me. That's twice now that I've thrown 2 curveballs at him, and he come out swinging, John. Because the first one was when we met at the HASA event.
Yep.
And we joked around, and you started talking to me, and I'm like, hey, I have an idea. You want to come over and train some classes? He just, without skipping a beat, he's like, yeah, of course, I'll do it. And then we're having a conversation 2-3 days ago, and I'm like, hey, kind of curveball. Do the podcast. He's done. I'll be there.
Well, he's a go-getter.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah. So we're excited to have you join us today. I agree with John, and you and I have talked about this. I think it's great to hear your story, and you and I have talked, and I get so fired up every time that we're done having a conversation, right? Because it's very motivational, and to see somebody that's been able to succeed, but be able to share your success stories, their struggles, and the things that we have to do to get there just is very motivating. And I know a lot of the people listening today are going to be very excited and motivated. It's going to be a good weekend, Zach, for a lot of people out there. Zach is probably going to be unbearable for the next couple of days because he's going to get fired up, Josh, and he's going to be calling us like every 20 minutes with all these things that he's going to do. So, look, do that again, Zach. Look, he's got his favorite. And so
he's ready.
Here's what you're going to see for Zach. The whole time he's just going to be taking all these notes. So, Zach, if you want, I can send you the transcript of the podcast, my friend.
Yes.
So, Josh, it's go time.
Let's do it.
Josh, I wish people could be flies on the walls when we've had conversations because we go down all these rabbit holes and I get excited about all these things. But really what I want to start to do is you have an amazing story. It's really a legacy story within our pool industry. You've been in the industry since you were born. Your father was in the industry. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about that legacy story.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank you all for having me here. It's really a pleasure to tell the story, as I'm sure many people in the industry have a very interesting story. My family dates back to the late 60s, early 70s in New York. That's where my dad grew up in the city, had a pretty rough home life, had a dad that left and a mother that abused him. And short story long, when he was 16 years old or so, he was moved out or was kicked out of his house in New York City. We had a very good friend of ours, one of his best friend's mother, a lady by the name of Irma Alvarez. To this day, she's like my grandmother. She was a scheduled at a pool company, and she got him a job as a laborer in a pool company when he was 16 years old, maybe even a little younger than that. As time went forward, he figured out quickly that he wanted to work, he needed to work, and school really wasn't for him. At 16 years old, after working for a couple of months for a pool company, he dropped out of high school and said, I can do this better, and started a pool company. Started really building all around the tri-state area for a number of years, doing all facets of the business. He was a hardworking dude, still is to this day. He's in his 70s now, and he still works just as hard on his own projects, and some call it retirement, but every time I talk to him, he's still working sun up to sundown doing something. It's just in his blood. Therefore, it's in our blood. But in 1974, mid-70s, there was a gentleman that told him about this area in North Dallas in Plano, Texas, that it was really getting ready to grow. And at the time, 635 wasn't even there. It was dirt roads past 635, if you could imagine that. He loaded up everything he had in his truck, and he drove down to Texas, 1974. And he started a pool company, and that pool company was called Sandler Pools. It's still around to this day. And he just went to work. He did what he knew how to do. He took care of people, and he had a work ethic, still does, that he will not be outworked. He took great care of people. He built a wonderful business. And then in the early 90s, he sold it to a gentleman, which then later merged with another company. Went into semi-retirement. But as we did that, we had the opportunity to learn many things. We were in Colorado. We did commercial excavation. I was a track hoe operator, putting in big utilities and pad sites and you name it, just anything to do with construction. And ironically, when that non-compete ran up, we decided to come back to Texas and fire one up. And that's where Gold Medal began. When Gold Medal began, I was just a laborer. It was 3 or 4 of us. And he started it because he truly loved building pools. There's something about meeting with a person, understanding what they want to accomplish, and taking this green, brown backyard and turning it into something beautiful that your family can enjoy. And he really enjoyed it. He loved building them. And so by way of family, I learned it from the ground up, whether I was digging ditches or plumbing or sitting on a track hoe or digging pools or cleaning shells out or wiring pumps, you name it, we did it. I always swore at that time as a teenager that I would never be in the pool business, but little did I know it was very deep in my blood.
They always say that, right?
Oh, for sure. Well, it was pretty interesting. As I grew up, went to college, went to business school, was actually going to go to law school, and I just needed to work, and I started working. And at that point, I was really looking at the world through a different lens. And we had this I don't want to use the word hobby, but it was more of a passion project because he just loved building pools. He'd been there. He'd scaled a big company. He dealt with all the people and the daily and all the things that we talk about, opportunities or challenges, however you want to frame it. And I really saw it through a different lens. And so I went to him and I said, hey, I really think we have something here. This market's growing. Obviously, our family's built a wonderful name in this market for taking care of people. Let's grow this thing. And he looked at me, he said, okay, I'll do it under one condition. I don't want to mess with it. I've been there and I've done that. I'll be here to help. So there we went. One pool at a time. It was mainly focused on residential construction. We had 3 employees, 3 laborers. That was it. It's me and him and 3 laborers. And so I just went to work. I went to selling pools and building crews and dealing with people and just really continuing not only learn how to build pools, but really how to develop the business. So really over the next handful of years, we spent the time building up internal crews and excavation crews and plumbing crews and CAD departments and salespeople, and really just helping others to understand the opportunity and really finding people that weren't in the industry that shared the same passion that we did about people really wanting to, what we consider, improve their lives. We see it as it's easy to get caught up in the, how many pools are we going to do this month? Or how many did we build? Or what was the margin on this pool? Or what is this? But really, when you think about it and you sit back and you get that email through your website at midnight and someone says, hey, we'd like to talk about a pool design, that's life-changing for them. And they've thought about that. And it's one of the single largest investments they'll ever make, not only in their home, in their lifetime, but also in their family. They're taking this 100-degree weather and kids bouncing off the walls and mud and grass outside, and they're saying, we want to improve our lives. And so people that really shared in that perspective, that took every opportunity that seriously and really wanted to help people achieve that. So as we did that, we continued to move forward. We built the residential side. In 07, 08, remembered what happened.
Oh, yeah.
We were decent sized then, but it was strictly residential construction. And we had a family meeting at the time, and we sat down and we said, hey, it's getting ready to get tight. Do we want to pull them in, or do we want to make sure we take care of everybody, and do we want to go for it? And actually 08, 09, and 10 were our biggest growth years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And for everybody listening, obviously 08 was probably one of our worst recessions, right? Things were just not pretty at all. To be able to go and grow in 08, 9, and 10 is huge.
It was. The market was smaller, but our market share increased. We were going to out relationship. We were going to outwork. We were going to out care. We were going to out warranty. And when things got tight, we saw a lot of folks in the market start short paying subs. Simple things that you wouldn't think about, where you give the homeowner the benefit of the doubt, and it might cost you a little money, but it obviously keeps a happy customer. People are pulling their horns back on that, and we were doubling down on that and really built a following doing that, and then just came out of it. We're still in a climb from that, frankly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sometimes it's human nature to panic when stuff like that happens and everybody's just in self-preservation mode, or time to give up or get rid of the business or go off and do something else and say, poor me. Other people look at it as an opportunity and say, it doesn't matter whether we're in a recession, a depression, there's always opportunity. And if you have a positive outlook and you're willing to work hard and do what it takes and take some chances, the reward is great and it can pay off. And obviously you guys seized that opportunity where everybody else backed away. You dug in deep and said, we're not giving up. We're going to make the most out of this. In reality, the competition wasn't necessarily as much because most people pulled out, and you're like, damn, the pot's even, there's not as many people vying for this. We're just going to seize everything we possibly can, and you get rewarded for doing stuff like that. That's pretty amazing.
Now, the couple years before 2008 were really good in the industry, right? It was not probably as much as COVID, but it had that spike in builds, right?
It had a good spike, but we were just starting to scale then. And we were never focused on our size. Obviously, we grew year over year. We were just more focused on quality, achieving lifetime customers, building relationships with folks that would come back and their kids would come back, and now their grandkids that we're building swimming pools for. We weren't as focused. It's wild to say we've never submitted in the pool awards for the top builder and submitted our revenues. We've always just tried to stay under the radar and take care of people.
Mm-hmm. So you guys have done some pretty great builds out here in Texas, right?
We have, yeah. Very fortunate.
And I want to say something that just dawned on me. Your dad came out here, built his company, which has a huge reputation.
Does
right? That is a staple builder within Texas. And by the way, Texas is a great market, right? People here are really picky when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it just dawned on me. Your dad has been part of probably two of the most recognizable, amazing pool building companies out here in the Dallas area.
Yeah, he's a very influential person in this industry, yeah.
He is. And so just to even tell you, so when I moved out here 2017, those were really the two names that I would see. And I would see the trailers everywhere with the gold medal pools built. And I mean, you guys were even the official builder for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Of the Dallas Cowboys. But here's the key thing. That had never come up. It just dawned on me as you were saying it. And I'm like, I think I remember seeing that. I just Googled it right now and looked at it. But that just tells you. But you guys have done, like John was saying, some amazing builds. You want to talk about some of those?
Yeah, you want to hear about the good ones?
Yes.
And the bad ones, too.
I've got a good cowboy story for you. Okay. Yeah, so we've been very fortunate, obviously, to have wonderful clients on the residential, on the commercial side. As part of our journey, really about in 9 or 10, we started building some HOA-type commercial swimming pools. And with my background and our background in excavation, site development, hardscapes, all those things, it started off going, hey, can you build a simple pool, right? And these pools, these developers would put in, they would be in the last phase. It would be a little rectangle, something just to check the box for the contracts. We like to feel like we had a little bit of a part in spicing it up, making them more ornate, making them a sales tool on the front end. So as we worked with these architects over the years and as we worked with these developers, we saw this shift from putting a simple rectangle pool in phase 15 to putting an amusement park with a fence around it, essentially, into phase 1 with the model homes around, where the kids would come out and they'd go to the model homes and they'd stand at the fence and they'd say, Mom, Dad, I want to live here, right? And it started off just building a swimming pool. And then as we had relationships with the people, it was like too big for a residential pool guy, but it was too small for a commercial construction guy. And it just didn't fit in the mold of that production builder because it was commercial construction. So it started off and we'd build this swimming pool and we'd work with the architects and he'd say, well, hey, can you do the playground? Well, sure. Well, hey, can you do the parking lot? Well, yeah, we can. Well, hey, we've got this 8,000-foot amenity center. Can we just give you this 4-acre site? Will you turn it over for me? Well, sure. And that's kind of how our...
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Why not?
And you know Texas, baby. Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's awesome.
It's big. And then we got caught into this unique trajectory where this developer would start losing houses because their amenity was nicer. So then they'd want to kick it up and they'd say, I want what he's got, but just a little bigger with a little more stuff on it, right? Sure. So obviously we were the benefactor of that. So that became a big part of our business as well. Really from about 2010 until last year, we sold that line of business. I'll tell you more about that. But in the projects, we built some wonderful, we just finished it's actually residential, but it's more commercial. We just finished a huge lazy river hanging out over Lake Travis.
Nice.
For a developer friend of ours and his weekend home. It's pretty cool. It's got bridges,
I know, right?
bars. It has margarita machines built in at every corner. It's really neat. I need to share some pictures with you anyways to put on.
You share a trip with me is what you need to share. Right?
What are you doing this afternoon?
And it's, 10 million gallons?
Oh, no, that was the Crystal Lagoon. We built that in Prosper and Windsong. I had the fortunate to work with those folks at Windsong. Pretty interesting project. It was essentially a 10 million gallon body of water with a liner and essentially a water treatment plant tied to it.
Wait a second. You say with a liner?
Yeah, it was like a PVC type liner in it.
In the entire lagoon?
The entire thing, yeah.
Holy crap.
Snow white, that's what makes the water look blue. I mean, you really can see it in space, but...
And by the way, this is at Windsong Ranch, and then it's only for Windsong Ranch. Like, the public can't get into it. Yeah. And they're, like, really tight about letting people in. Brianna had a friend there, and I wanted to go see it. I couldn't get in.
Wow.
They're very stringent upon who gets to go in there.
I wouldn't let you in.
Yeah, I wouldn't let myself in either, but... Now, how long did that take to build that?
That was about a year. And that was the year I think we had record rains. We would rain like 26 or 28 days a month. That was in 18 and 19.
Mm-hmm. Was that like the first type of project like that, big project that you guys have done?
Dollar wise, no, but
Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of lessons learned during that.
A lot of lessons learned on the fly is because
Yeah.
they hadn't really built one in clay soils. There hasn't really been one built in this part of Texas. And so it was a huge leap on Windsong's part. They really put a lot of faith in us and in their belief and vision for it. And obviously,
Today, we continue our conversation on your business operational efficiencies. Mr. Zacharias, what's going on?
I'm just watching John try to throw you off your game here, but you're bulletproof now.
Bro, that's when I step up my game, baby.
And I was doing it all on memory too. I got it all memorized.
Did you see that? That's when I get laser focus.
Work best under pressure.
Yes, baby.
I'm doing good. A lot going on around here. And after the podcast with Josh, you guys knew how fired up I was. And we've been rocking and rolling, let's just say that, getting a lot done and kicking butt around here.
That's awesome. Yeah, we talk almost every day, but shoot, we went what, like 4 or 5 days where we barely talked?
Yeah, and it's been one of those things where I've been so busy and you've been so busy. We've all been so busy. I just don't even think about it. I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't talked to you guys. And John, I don't think I talked to you in a week or two.
Yeah, it's been a while, actually, and I'm starting to get a complex.
A little offended, right? I would too, John.
You changed your number, so I have an excuse.
Yes, thanks.
I kept calling the old number, and Janie answered, hello? So, anyways, Mr. Flawless, what's going on?
What isn't going on is really the question. But other than that, I'm actually in a pretty good mood today.
Yeah?
Yeah. I didn't know that until Zach pointed it out pre-podcast. You can see the bags under my eyes are really starting to get long, like extra extended. I don't know why this eye is a lot more than this eye. Maybe I was just sleeping on it.
You're sleeping with one eye open and one eye closed.
What the hell's going on? But summer's over, kind of. We had a heat wave. We're still in the hundreds, 110, 115-ish. We were last week. Beginning of this week, it's going to start hopefully cooling down later on this month, but more so for us. I talk about this every year. Everybody starts to get slow right now, and we just start cranking in more than one way. So all our clients are coming down. I'm getting nothing but emails. John, we're going to be down on the 15th. John, we're going to be down on the 17th. John, we're coming down on the 1st of November. Da 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 da. And we literally have a laundry list of pools and where our clients are coming down after being gone for 6 months. They all of a sudden want to do the things we talked about before. Hey, let's handle this during the summer while you're gone, or let's do this and let's do that. And, okay, whatever. And then, oh, remember we talked about this and this and this. Okay, I'd like to get that scheduled and have it done before we arrive. So it's literally balls to the walls for the next couple months. And then we have the Pool Nation conference too on the other side. So it is definitely fun times for us. There is no time to relax, but I enjoy this and I'm built this way. This is what I like. It helps keep me young. Otherwise, I think I'd just wither away or just get crazy and go into a loony bin or loony whatever if I sat there and had nothing to do. So I'm not complaining. It's just crunch time for us. So that's it.
Gotcha. Definitely a lot of things going on, getting obviously ready for the conference, getting ready for the awards, just lots of stuff. Do you want to give a big, huge shout out to all the pool pros out in Florida? Obviously, 2 hurricanes back to back. So big shout out to all our fellow pool guys and pool girls out there. Stay safe. Our prayers are with all of you guys out there. Hope you're safe out there. I do have to say, I'm excited to give a shout out today. So this week, I want to give out a shout out to Keegan, and he's No Excuses Pool Service from Riverside, California. I like the name, No Excuses Pool Service. So I was talking to him yesterday. We reached out. Guys, he's 22 years old out of Riverside, California, really young into the industry. And so he was looking to attend the conference. And Zach, I was thinking about you because his very first one, he's never attended one before. And he feels like it's time for him to attend one of these events. And he listens to the podcast all the time. And I just sent him a message and said, let's connect. So we jumped on and we connected yesterday. And really kind of talked to Zach about, we don't like to use the word networking, but really to get him to come out here and take some education classes and really create that community, that network of people that is going to be able to help him. He did listen to Josh's podcast and was all fired up. He wants to come out and meet Josh as well. He signed up yesterday for the conference and he's coming out to Dallas. So excited to be able to meet him out here in Dallas.
That's awesome. And I remember my first show. And it's like, we kind of live in our bubble. You might know some people in the area. And then once you get to a show, you're like, wow, this is much bigger than I originally thought it was. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for him. He's young, he's eager, you could tell. And again, he's like, man, Edgar, I don't travel a lot. I got to figure all this out and figure out hotels and book trips and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it's time. And, was really excited talking to him about it and talking about the conference and kind of creating that community, right? Because as you're growing, that's key to be able to have access to all those people. So Keegan, big shout out of the week to you out there. Looking forward to that. A couple other things, Pool Nation Spotlights and Insight. The next one is coming out here in the next couple of days. Stay tuned. It's all about the Pool Nation Conference. We will have all the nominees for the Pool Nation Awards on that cover as well. We'll have a couple of other promotions. We do have, obviously, the promotion for the Tux, but there's a couple other things on there with regards to Heritage and Aquastar. The IPSA Education Fund will be on there as well for all of you that are wanting to get out to the conference. Look, IPSA has an amazing education fund, and you don't have to be a part of IPSA. There's a couple of requirements that you have to have, and one is you can apply it to the business owner, so you can't use it for your employees. But if you're a business owner, you can register, you can pay, you can do it. And what you do is from us, you get a certificate of completion at the end, and then you submit your receipt, your business information, and your certificate of completion. And they will refund you up to $200 on any training. And I think they do it twice a year, but you could definitely check it out. It'll be on the Pool Nation Spotlights and Insights. But guys, that's like free training. Most of our courses are the hands-on are 149. The technical are 125. So you literally could get your education for free.
Yeah. And it's go time. Get registered. It's coming up. I was thinking about this today.
4 weeks away.
I still have a lot to do. I've got a list and I better get crunching, but
yeah, my to-do list is crazy long. So
you mean your to-do wall?
Yeah, my to-do wall.
Yep.
All right. So gentlemen, I think we need to jump in. We did 2 podcast episodes that really focus on operational efficiency. And the first one that we talked about was really the route planning and the importance of the route planning. And a lot of this came from a pool pro that sent us a message. They're young, they're starting in the industry. They've only got 2 employees. And really what they're trying to do is they're trying to grow at a good pace, but really have things in place to support that growth. And so he had reached out. And so we touched base and talked about what are some of the key things that, 5 years into our journey, we look back and said, man, we wish we would have focused on this a little bit more at the beginning. And so the first one was really the route efficiency. Zach, do you want to do a quick recap on what we talked about when we did the route efficiency?
Yeah.
And I think you're going through it right now, right? You're in that mode of cleaning up again.
We are. And it's a never ending process, right? Because as you gain clients, you lose some clients. Like the route is this ever changing thing. So periodically we have to stop and look at it. But I think it's one of those things when you start out, the goal is just take as many, we need as many accounts as we can get. We need to get that going. And I totally understand it. But there's not a lot of strategy or planning around creating an efficient route or limiting the area that you're going to travel to. And as it grows, it becomes this monster and you end up having a lot of extra costs or wasted time. And then it's hard to work back from that. So when you're building a route or starting out, make sure you're putting some thought into this, because some of the things that go into this is one is time. And time is money. So the more time that you're spending behind the windshield driving around, the less time you have to actually do productive work that's going to generate you revenue. The other thing is wear and tear. And at the beginning, when you have one vehicle, it's not really a thought, but as you start to grow and you bring on people and you add more trucks to your fleet, like wear and tear, your vehicle maintenance and repair expense account grows tremendously. You've got tires, you've got oil changes, you've got ACs and things going out. So the more work you can get done in a day with that vehicle, the more profitable you're going to be. And then you've got gas, things like that. So one of the things I like to look at when I'm putting the route and kind of reviewing it is I get so into the weeds that I'm like looking at how do I make it like all right-hand turns, right? So they go down the road, they turn right into a neighborhood, they do the pool, they pull out, turn right onto the main road, turn right into the next neighborhood. And it's just they're less time sitting at stoplights, things like that. And then also safety is one for me. The more I have people doing left-hand turns, the more potential I have for some sort of accident where they have to yield. So, I mean,
bro, really? You dig down. I'm anal, bro, but you drill down that deep, bro.
I do. And it is actually something that I'm like, at this point, we have a service manager now, and it's okay, bro, chill a little bit. Like they're adults, they can drive a car. Like But that's how deep I go. So
that's awesome.
No, but that's absolutely awesome. Absolutely love it. And that whole route thing is just so important. And it's one of those things, man, that we just put off and we're like, yeah, we'll do it later. And the more you wait, the more it gets out of control. And then it takes you years to turn around and clean it back up. And then when you have it really tight, you go, I wish if from the beginning, I would have just set these boundaries and focus on this. Your operation is a lot smoother. Obviously, the wear and tear on the trucks, it's a lot more profitable. We talk about it all the time, right? You have people driving, it costs money while people are driving. So that should be a red flag to you. If your people are driving 30, 40 minutes, that's profits that are just being lost.
The route efficiency, to dig even deeper with us, sometimes we don't really think about it, but we just had an example last week. We have cleaners in every one of our pools, and sometimes cleaners get stuck or whatever. And it's kind of a funny story, and I'm going to say it just to get a laugh, but usually we explain to our customers, have a conversation saying, hey, look, before it was like, oh, the cleaner stopped working. And then we wait until we get there the next week. And then it hasn't been working or hasn't been running. And the cleaner hasn't been doing its job. So now the pool for the last 4 days maybe hasn't been as clean as it should have been. We automatically know now that when a tech is there or when we're there, that we have to spend time getting the cleaner working. And then now we're going to have to worry about vacuuming the pool and adding an extra 10, 12 minutes or whatever it may be. Now we start, when we talk to our customers, we explain to them as well, even though we're a premium service, and we let them know that, hey, the pool is in our hands. We're going to take care of it for you. There's nothing when it comes down to a pool that we can't help fix or maintain. But it's also your pool as well, Mr. Customer. And you're there 6 days out of the week in charge of the pool. I'm there 1 day out of the week. And when things happen, as far as like baskets that need to get, when it's windy or things occur, or if your cleaner stops working, sometimes in our mind, I used to get like, oh, here I get another text message, or I'll get an email saying the cleaner's not working, John. And then you get like, oh my God, I'm getting bombarded with this type of stuff. But I turned it into like a point where, I talk to the customer and say, hey, look, there's probably a rock stuck in it, or did it pop out of the skimmer, whatever it may be, did a hose collapse? And you put a little bit of effort at the beginning to coach and train your clients. And this all happens while you're out and about doing your thing, and you have them in your ear and you're talking to them. So it's not like you have to sit in the cubicle up against the wall and you're wasting time talking to them. You're going through your day, and then you teach them and you train them on how to do stuff. And then now all of a sudden they help maintain it, or they're able to fix it, or these little things that literally takes 1 second to do. When we get there, that caused us an additional 20 or 30 minutes worth of work because nobody did it before. You start to have a much more efficient route. Simple stuff like that we've done over the years we haven't gone as far as Zach with the right turns and the left turns.
You need to catch up, buddy.
I do need to catch up, but stuff like that has really helped me out as far as making things a lot easier for us, because it's unforeseen, or we don't really take into account the extra time. So that day, if we had 3 cleaners that were down, we just saved an hour worth of fixing and vacuuming that day because the customer was able to do it, or were able to get it resolved beforehand.
Yeah. The other thing that we talked about was the importance of obviously billing and staying on top of your invoicing and your billing and all that kind of stuff. So John, can you talk just really quick, and we'll jump in today's topic about the importance of just automating a lot of that stuff?
Yeah, so it's short and sweet here. And when it comes down to the importance of billing and invoicing, let's just be honest. Why are we even in business, right? What's the whole purpose of us being in business? Is so that we can provide a service and get paid for it. It's pretty simple. And it blows me away how we tend to shy away from the billing side of it, or we neglect it, and we don't do everything we possibly can to ensure that process goes as seamless as possible for us on a monthly basis. So we're not sitting there chasing money every single month. It's just mind-blowing to me. What we've talked about is the sooner you digitalize your invoicing, the sooner you start to use software programs, like whether it be QuickBooks or whether it be Skimmer or any type of program where you can do automatic billing, the better. We talked about invoicing at the beginning of the month, becoming very consistent with it, setting standards and boundaries with clients as far as they expect us to provide a service, right? And we have to abide to that, and we deliver on it. And in return, the expectation with them, and it's mutual, is that they pay us for that service, and it should be no different. You need to look at it. If you send out an invoice and a customer is late, it's equivalent to you not showing up to do the job or not do the work. By enforcing that and having those conversations with your clients and then implementing things like late payments or fees for not paying on time, and then sending up follow-up emails, we just have a hard time somehow, I don't know what it is, asking for money for our clients when that should be the expectation. And we've learned over the years that, and I'm not saying we didn't go through that as well, but I came from a different world where bills are bills and you pay them when you pay them. There is no, I'll get to it when I can, or I didn't get your invoice this month or whatever. Things don't work that way. And I have no problem talking to a customer or to a client. And I make it very clear when we start service is, look, we have an obligation or a responsibility that we're committing to. And in turn, there's an obligation on your end. As long as that's mutual and we have a good understanding, I think we're going to have a great relationship. And just being honest with them about it. The other thing we spoke about, I believe, too, was as far as payment and what you're accepting. Gone are the days of checks or cash under the table or something like that. You know, it's all great to be able to get a check sometimes, or maybe your customer wants to pay you cash, but make it as easy as possible for your clients to be able to pay you. So as far as sending out paper bills, that's the way of the past. Send it out digitally, have an option to where they can click and they can pay online via whether it's ACH or whether it's with credit card. People run away from the credit cards like, oh, I don't want to get charged, or I don't want to use credit cards because of the fees. Yeah, okay, you might pay 3% or 4%, whether you're keying it in or whether you're swiping the card or whatever it is. But in reality, cash flow is so very important, and having that money and not having 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 that you're chasing every single month because people are mailing out a check to you or whatever it may be is unacceptable. And as a business owner, as far as these fees that you're afraid of or that you don't want to pay the 3%, you should be incorporating that in whatever you're charging your clients per month. So take that into account. So when you're servicing a pool or you're quoting a pool and you're switching over to credit cards and you need to add 4% or 5% to whatever you're willing to charge in order to compensate for those extra fees, and you need to incorporate that into your monthly service costs. It's no different than any other expense. And if you start doing that, then you're going to find that the cash flow will be there. You get your payments when you need to. I know that, Zach, you have a program where not only we do it on the first of the month and it's for that month. So we're like the cable company. You pay ahead of time. You get your bill for the 1st of October, and that's for your service for October. We don't wait until November to get paid for October. You have it to where you do it on the 1st of the month, and then you also do it on the 15th as well, so that you can help maintain cash flow, right? For your
so they pay for a whole month, but if we pick up a pool on the 14th, then their billing cycle goes on to the 15th, and we're trying to build up. Ultimately, we would like to have every week be a billing,
because it's critical, right? Having that constant cash flow inside or always coming in is critical to any business. You know, sometimes when you have to wait for money to come in because you had an expense that came up, it can stress you out more than it should. So I can't emphasize enough when it comes down to billing and invoicing, even though it seems as simple as it is, we just need to do a better job sometimes as business owners to demand the money that we deserve for the work that we put in.
People are just afraid for some reason and you have to get out of that phase, and you have to understand that you have to get paid for the work that you do. And there's nothing wrong with that.
You should be proud of it, right?
You should be proud, and you should be able to have a good conversation with your customer, just like anything else, right? It's not easy at the beginning, but once you flex that muscle, you train that muscle, it just becomes more normal for you and becomes easier.
And then on the last point on that, not only that, but it actually creates a lot more respect between your customer and your company, because when you're consistent on the way you do things and the way you bill, right, they start to appreciate you more or respect you more, because they know that it's not hit or miss, or sometimes you're going to get it here, sometimes you're not going to get it there. I learned the hard way at first when I was used to do everything on my own. I hate billing too. I'm not like everybody else. I hate it. I just hate the act of doing it. I have no problem asking for money and getting my money. That's not hard. I just hate doing the computer work. Our customers are at a point now where they're so well trained that if they don't get their bill between the 1st and like the 4th of every single month, the next day we get emails and say, hey, John, I didn't get an invoice from you. I want to make sure you know that I didn't get it or I didn't receive it, and that's why I didn't pay it. I don't want you to think that I'm not paying you. That's awesome to have that type of relationship with the clients. And then it's also a wake me up moment for me too, that, hey, look, our people are expecting something from us because they have to budget, they have bills, they have things that are happening too. And we need to stay consistent with what we're doing. And once you build that relationship with them, it becomes very easy. You're not chasing that money every single month. I mean, we might have a couple $1,000 that are floating around that we have to grab every month, but that's nothing compared to some of the stories that I hear from some of the guys that are literally $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 behind because people haven't paid in 3, 4, 5 months. And it's why. But anyways, I'm not going to keep ranting about it.
All right, guys, let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, let's jump into our next topic for the operational efficiency.
Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. U.S. Motors Neptune Variable Speed Motor provides a versatile replacement solution for all your pool pump motor needs. This motor can communicate with pool control systems, provide low voltage options to work with time clocks, and can be installed as a standalone pump motor. The Neptune motor can be easily installed on existing pumps, upgrading them to a variable speed pump without the need for replumbing. Enjoy energy savings and quiet operation by installing a Neptune Variable Speed Motor today. For more information and to find your local distributor, visit usmotors.com/pool. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Meet the Pipeline Pump from Aquastar Pool Products, the next generation of variable speed pumps designed for serious efficiency. At its core is a high-performance permanent magnet motor that's totally enclosed and fan-cooled, delivering consistent energy-saving operation. Paired with Aquastar's patented high-efficiency volute design, the Pipeline Pump maintains optimal flow while cutting down on energy use. And it's not just efficient, it's incredibly quiet. Thanks to a high-tech rubber motor mount that absorbs vibrations and dampens sound, the pipeline runs smooth and quiet by limiting turbulence. Its 2.5-inch internal frame ensures unrestricted water flow, and it's available in both 1.5 HP and 3.0 HP models, each with 2-inch and 2.5-inch union fittings for flexible and efficient installation. Experience the pipeline difference: incredibly quiet operation, peak efficiency, and proven performance. Ask your supplier for the Pipeline Pump from Aquastar. Available now. Care Solutions, for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Today, we're answering some questions and dropping some new ideas that we're going to talk about. Well, I don't know if the guys are going to let me talk about them or not, but we're going to see if that can happen. Hey, big shout out to Lindsay77. Big shout out to you out there. Mr. Zacharias, good morning. What's going on?
You know, we're always ready to talk about your ideas. Never have to question that.
You know, the funny thing is, John had a conversation with me, and he said that you guys were thinking of having a conversation with me with limiting the amount of ideas that I was able to come up with in a quarter. And he said, we're going to transition the ideas into quarters to then transition you down to every 6 months to then every year. And he said, we are going to cap the number of ideas you're allowed to have.
We'll table that for next quarter.
So how you doing?
Doing good. Shaking and moving, man. Right now, it's like, this is the time of year where it seems like things level out and aren't so chaotic. I'm actually able to sit down and work on things. It's also the time of year I sit down to work on things and realize how much crap I have to work on. That's a little overwhelming, but other than that, doing good. We've got some colder weather. I don't know if you guys have had that come through, but it's been real nice. Like, I think it was 60 something the other morning. It was nice and chilly. So that's definitely a relief from what we were experiencing all summer.
It was like 80 something the day before, like 89. And then I forgot to put the trash cans out. And I was just like, oh, I'll go take them out. And I walked out the door, John, 44 degrees.
Oh,
it was 44 in the morning. I'm like, wow. So I ran back inside. And of course, I put my beanie and my gloves and my ski parka and all that kind of stuff. And all the neighbors looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? It has been nice, and it was nice. But you guys know I'm not a fan of the cold. So it was nice for that day, and I got over it just like that. So, Mr. Flawless, good morning.
Good morning. I'm exactly the opposite of Zach, where things are calming down a little bit with me. They're heating up, and it's been quite the wild ride the last few weeks as far as business-wise, and then especially so much going on with the Pool Nation conference and all the education and stuff and all the little things that we need to get done. But my phone has just been blowing up as far as customers arriving, coming down from the magic land where they go live at during the summertime, and they come here for the winter to wherever they're at, coming down and just prepping and getting the pools ready for them to enjoy the season down here, because this is when our season officially starts, middle of October, end of October. So it's been fun. It's the same thing every year. It doesn't change. We can try to get used to it as much as possible, and we try to, but you know, it is what it is. We're getting through it and we're loving it. But I'm excited about today, though, especially this podcast, because we got a couple really good questions that were sent in that I want to get into and talk about, because I think it's a part of the industry, especially the second one about the franchising. That really hasn't been much of a topic in the past, but wasn't really much of a thing. But as our pool industry has grown and people have seen the possibilities or how lucrative it could be, you get a lot of bigger companies that are coming in, VCs, private equity groups that are buying up some of the smaller shops out there, and other companies that are creating franchises are really starting to grow. So I don't know. I'm just really excited to talk about it. I think it's a pretty cool question and an interesting subject. But other than that, I'm doing great. How are you doing, Edgar? We never asked you that.
I'm doing great. Like I said, Wednesday, doing the Instagram lives and doing my podcast on Friday, or my, what do you call it? It's my therapy, good for my mental health. You know what I mean? I get all fired up, and we have a lot of things going on right now with the conference and the awards. It's all deadline stuff that drives me a little bit crazy. And I hate taking something all the way to the last minute. It just drives me absolutely crazy. But just because of the conference this year, there's a lot of moving parts. It's the first time that we put it together. So I keep having the same nightmare, and the same nightmare is the one that I used to have for the awards. Remember that it was like, you don't know what you don't know, right? You've never done it. You don't know what you don't know. You're going to show up into the space, and then there's something missing that you totally needed, that everybody's going to be like, holy cow, how'd they forget that? Like for the awards, the first couple of years, my fear was always that I forgot to order mics, and then all of a sudden we get on the stage and there's no mics for us to talk, and it's, oh my God. So that's kind of how I am with the Pool Nation conference. But on the other hand, it's like what you guys always talk about, which is, it is what it is. Let's roll with it. Whatever we botch, we'll just work through it. The next one will make it better. So anyways, but when I did the Instagram live and Jay was on there, John, and you were on there, and we were just kind of fired up, it gave me that energy for that Thursday that I just walked into the office and I'm just like, I'm fired up. Let's go. And then with some of the stuff that we were talking about right before we jumped off onto the podcast that we're going to maybe spill a little bit of the tea, I'm really excited about that.
100%. And speaking of deadlines, today, we're going to have to end this on the dot, right?
Oh, yes. Good call.
We should forewarn people because we have some calls set up right after the podcast that we have to get on and do. So we tried to start early, but we got on somewhat early. It just didn't happen.
Leanne said, why are you getting on early? I would go, we're not getting on early. We're getting on early to be able to start on time. Because if we get on our normal time, we'll talk for like 15, 20 minutes before 100%. We go live. And then the time goes. And
1,000%. So yeah.
She was going to leave. And I go, babe, can I give you a kiss before you leave? She goes, I thought you were on already. No, the half hour that we normally eat before we get started.
But it was productive. It was good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I love it, by the way. So for everybody listening, all three of us, a lot of times, me, Zach, and John, we don't have time to just be able to hang out as buddies and shoot the crap and just talk and do all that. And so every time that we jump on the Restream and the platform to be able to do our stuff, we just start having these conversations and they just go like all over the place and we get caught up and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to stay on task, but it's all good.
Hey, I'm like 66 days today, I think.
I was going to ask you that when I was joking around about, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's awesome. I think somebody, you know what? Here, let's do this. 66 days. Look, boom, check out the screen. This is what we're going to do from now on. Every time we jump on, we're going to put that magic number up on the screen for everybody to see. Yeah. So John is 66 days smoke-free.
Yeah, and I think I'm over the hump, actually, because in the last 2 weeks where I get a random urge, an overwhelming urge to do something and to go have a cigarette. I don't know, I take a deep breath and then I go off and I go do something else and then I'll forget about it. The times where I'm going from stop to stop, every single time I would reach in my pocket. Now I'm not doing that. It's becoming muscle memory now not to smoke. So
that's awesome.
The new ritual. So I'm doing well.
Congratulations, my friend.
Shitload though, that's for sure, dude. I can't stop eating. Jesus Christ, bro. I'm like an animal. Because I'm trying to stay busy, but I think I've finally peaked the last week where I'm not as itchy.
Yeah,
I'm doing well.
Yeah, congrats, bro. I thought it was going to be a little bit harder for you.
Yeah, you mean more stumbles, more trips and falls, and
yeah. Because think about it, John. You've been smoking for a freaking 100 years, and you went cold turkey. It's not like you said, "Oh, I've got patches." You just turned it off. That's hard. That's hard to do. So, congrats, brother.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or poolnationpodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. Poolmanuniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at poolmanuniversity.com.